is pretty good. But sometimes the games can be kind of broken, or there can be some frustrations with some things. And it looks like BuffaloPrime is starting. I don't see EnPassant's game feed. I don't know if we're going to be having his stream feed or not. So this will make the race a little interesting. Well, we got BP rolling around at the speed of sound on City Escape. Going to go through this boarding section before he makes it onwards to the first skip in the game, City Escape skip. So we'll see if City Escape skip will be achieved by BP. Certainly a capable runner of doing that, and we'll see how he does. So he's going to do a spin dash. He's going to try and carry his speed through. The speed pad does a good job, and he's going to miss it. It's a really precise skip to hit. CE skip can be so challenging because you have to carry a certain amount of speed off a certain position in order to clip into the wall, hit the speed pads, and get launched out of bounds. So not super surprising that that was missed. So BP's going to have to go through the level normally. Yeah, I don't know if EnPassant is what's going down for that, but see as BP is going to make his way to the boarding section. So BP going through the rails just fine, and now BuffaloPrime is going to enter the truck section. The big point of this stage is to try to not fly off. BP flew off there and lost a couple seconds because of it, but if you can go down, it saves a little bit of time. So the goal is to try and carry this little momentum over the side so you don't lose too much time. But it looks like EnPassant's game feed is up. I think we're just waiting for it to maybe sync up, and then we'll be on our way. So it looks like both runners fairly close together. Based on the times that I see, I believe EnPassant looks like he's just a tiny bit behind.
Reporting to headquarters. Intruder has been located. Copy that.
And now both of these runners are going to be on Bigfoot. You're going to try to jump out of this box and hit Bigfoot in the cockpit. His AI tries to move him forward, so if you just go fast enough, you can get this boss down really easily. So good job. BuffaloPrime going to finish that up nice and easy. EnPassant looks like he is getting fairly close. And good job taking care of Bigfoot, as both of these runners are ready to roll in Wild Canyon. And if you're not familiar with Wild Canyon, it's a good job finding a free piece. Not really a free piece, but you can figure out. Oh, he does get a free piece. Actually, great vision by BuffaloPrime, and he's going to have a really strong layout for this Wild Canyon. This is going to be a sub 20. It looks like it's the close sandy path. And my gosh, that's a nice layout for BP. Really good job by him. So I couldn't really talk about the stage because he was so darn quick with it, but you use these hit monitors to grab pieces. However, and EnPassant's going to get a really nice third piece. Not going to be too far away from him. You're going to try and use the hint monitors to figure out where the pieces are. However, because runners have a lot of experience getting certain pieces, they can figure out where pieces are just simply based on the radar. So for example, for that first piece that BuffaloPrime got, it was a yellow radar. At the start of Wild Canyon, there are only 2 pieces that could spawn with the yellow radar. So BP knew where to look based on just his radar and piece knowledge. So a really good job by him, really good vision getting that free piece. And EnPassant not falling too far behind. In fact, really the only difference in this race so far is the RNG and Knuckles. BP going to be flying through Prison Lane here, going to try to use small jumps like you just saw in order to get around sharp corners quickly. Otherwise, Tails loses a lot of momentum. Ooh, BP doing a nice little fun strat there. I didn't realize he could do that one. It's not terribly challenging, but it can take a little bit to learn. I wasn't sure if he did that one or not. EnPassant, about 20-second deficit over BP. See if he can catch up. BP getting a really good time on this first check. Gonna jump up onto the gate there because you can do that. And that's kind of the big thing with this stage. Trying to get under the gates as quickly as possible, locking onto enemies quickly, carrying your momentum appropriately. That's the best way to do small optimizations to get as fast of a time as possible on this stage. Like EnPassant, gonna be getting his first checkpoint. See how he does on this gate hop. Gonna like both enemies down, jump on the gate. Guy hot shot by the enemy. That can happen sometimes, but he'll recover from that quite nicely and keep going as BP looks to be entering near the end of the second half of this stage. Yeah, you really have to watch how you move the camera with Tails. It's the best way to conserve your momentum, because if Tails slows down, you lose a lot of momentum, and it causes a significant amount of time. So keeping your momentum going is really, really important. See, BP gets the second gate hop. He sure does. Good job by him as EnPassant. Gonna still be about 20 seconds behind and making his way to the end. And BP gonna get a 140. Not bad. Not bad at all. BP with a solid prison lane time as EnPassant looks to hit the end of the stage. Jumps through the gate quite nicely. And now we're gonna have BuffaloPrime, and soon EnPassant be moving on to Metal Harbor. Metal Harbor is one of those stages that can be really tricky, mainly because there's a lot of small things that can happen that can kill you, mainly falling into the water. So you're going to want to try to do some pretty clean jumps and spin dashes in order to carry a lot of speed, but you also don't want to shortchange jumps or mess up your angles or positioning, because that could lead you straight into the water. You're going to get up onto that platform nice and easy. See how his second jump goes. Does a good job, and now he's going to get the light shoe so he can go alongside lines of rings very quickly. Just like you're watching right there, and he'll be moving on. You see him charging spin dashes like that? Oh, that's weird. Hitting the plane. That can happen sometimes if you're a little too far to the right. You'll notice when runners playing the Sonic games are on the ground, they're going to try to chain spin dashes as much as they can, and that's just the most efficient form of movement for Sonic. But you'll notice if they go downhills, they will not do spin dash change, because you carry momentum when you're in spin dash form, I guess is the best way to put that. So when they're going uphills or on solid ground, they will chain spin dashes. If they're going downhills, they won't do that. BP's going to use the angle to do a spin dash jump, and a really nice rocket jump from him as EnPassant. He's, I think he might have taken a death, I think. I wasn't really watching. But he's gonna look like to grab the light shoes as well, so a good job by him. Now, you gotta be careful. If you take the wrong angle at the range, so say you came at the range to the right, you can sometimes just light dash into the one ring, and that can cause a lot of issues sometimes. So you have to be really careful of how you line up your light dashes.
Barely made it.
Now, EnPassant, despite the slight hiccup, is cruising along as well, as BP is going to be entering the Faker cutscene and taking on Shadow 1. You'll notice one of the mechanics that these runners will be doing is known as storage. Storage is a trick that we can do with Sonic, where because the spin dash button and the somersault button are on the same button, what you can do is if you kind of like hold the button but don't charge a spin dash, you can kind of carry the property of the somersault with you without actually doing the somersault animation. That's going to allow us to get under Shadow's hitbox like you'll watch BP about to do. Assuming I didn't just commentator curse him. Rocks forward, damages Shadow. That's because of storage that he can do that. We can also use it to go under small underpasses, and a really good Shadow 1 fight by BP. He has been playing really, really well. I think he's carrying some of the fire of his recent PB that he got last night with him into this race. EnPassant, maybe just about hair under a minute behind, is going to be doing the Faker fight as well against Shadow. And this race is far from over. Both runners are very skilled. These stages can do a lot of funky things, though, and something weird happens to BuffaloPrime. That could allow EnPassant to get back into this fight. You know, there's RNG stages, even stages like Green Forest. Green Forest has a tendency to throw a lot of runners up into the air and can do really funky things. So if you mistime something or you just catch a weird blip of the geometry of the stage, it can cause some really weird things to happen. So we're going to see if Buffalo can stay on the ground. Yeah, see, that's an example of he took too much of a right. I mean, thankfully the checkpoint's right there. This is why it's important to grab your checkpoints. Only a couple seconds. So that's that's not a really big deal, kind of a death to take. There are a lot worse things that can happen, so I think BP will shake that off and just keep on rolling. Coming up, there's a nice little loop skip here that if you take your momentum and jump right, you can skip the loop there. Saves a few seconds. A nice job by BP. As EnPassant going to be entering Green Forest himself, BP is going to come up to the tree. I don't believe BP does do the tree run. There is a tree run that you can do. Buffalo is going to opt to not do that. And instead going to do the stage normally. The wall run strat saves about 15 seconds. So it's a pretty decent chunk of time save, but it's also one of the most advanced strats to do in the run. So I don't blame runners one bit for not going for it. Now we're going to see another skip called Bungee Skip. There's a bungee cutscene that comes up down that hallway, but instead of doing that, you can just kind of and get to this point. So now, BB gonna actually opt for safety. Didn't feel comfortable taking his momentum. You can go underneath that loop if you take a good enough spin dash jump, but BP wasn't comfortable with the distance he was getting on that jump, and a really good job. Oh, as EnPassant takes a death, did a really good job of adjusting. That is one of the biggest things when it comes to, I would say, SA2 speedrunning. Knowing how to adjust, especially in race situations. Sometimes there's going to be factors or things that happen that you're not used to. And if something weird happens, if you just kind of like blindly go with what you're used to, you know, BP had gotten that he could have potentially died and lost more time. Instead, he opted for safety, adjusted appropriately, minimized his losses, and did a really good job of finishing up Green Forest. Now, EnPassant looking to cruise along in Green Forest himself as BP enters Pumpkin Hill. Going to be looking for some pieces. Of course, we got 3 mountains on Pumpkin Hill. Got the Church Mountain, the Ghost Train Mountain, and the Pumpkin Mountain, as BP's going to go over to the Church Mountain to get his first piece. A lot of runners like to get first piece on the Church Mountain because there's a rocket that can go over to Pumpkin Mountain, and the similar thing could be said about the Ghost Train Mountain as well. It's usually when you get first pieces on the Pumpkin Mountain, that could oftentimes lead to a lot slower combination. So pretty standard and solid RNG from Buffalo's Pumpkin Hill so far. As EnPassant going to successfully do bungee skip. A good job by him. We'll see if he can. He's actually just going to go for the safe route for this. BP gets one of a lot of runners hate King of the Hill third piece. It's really slow, out of the way to get, but overall good execution by BP as he finishes up Pumpkin Hill. See if EnPassant can gain a little time on Pumpkin Hill or if the stage is going to be rude to him. And good recovery by EnPassant to finish up Green Forest. Alright, we'll have to keep an eye on EnPassant's RNG as BuffaloPrime going to enter Mission Street. Cycle-based stage, going to try to get to some platforms as quickly as he can. It doesn't really matter if you get there in between because you have to wait for the cycle anyway, so we try to make it to a certain point as quickly as we can so that we can save some extra time. And Buffalo's going to be grabbing the booster upgrade in order to help him do that because normally the booster just helps you hover. However, he's going to do a pause jump here. And what you can do is if you press A and then A again really quickly as tails with the booster, you get extra height from the booster that you're not supposed to get, and that helps us to get on things like that weight really quickly, and it helps us get faster cycles. EnPassant going to get a fairly solid first piece. Got to deal with the ghost, and we'll go over, take this rocket over to the Pumpkin Mountain for a pretty quick grab for a second piece. As BP is looking fairly good cycle on 0 cycle pace. Second piece grab for EnPassant. BP going really strong so far. EnPassant gonna get a piece that could be in 2 locations. Gonna check the close location first and then move on to the second one. But he's gonna get the close location. And actually both runners got similar RNG, so good execution as EnPassant as BP looking to make the fastest known cycle for RTA strats for single segment. If we were all tasks, we could get a faster cycle. And he's gonna get 0 cycle. Really strong execution. You have to be pretty quick. You have to be pretty sharp. So a really good job by BuffaloPrime to get 0 cycle. And we call it 0 cycle because we used to not think we could get that cycle, but ever since we found we could get onto the weight platform, we know that the 0 cycle exists. So good job on Buffalo's part to get about as quick of a mission street as you're going to want. About a minute and a half separates these runners. EnPassant going to be trying to make up some ground. I don't know if he has practiced the movement to be able to get 0 cycle, but we'll see how he does, as he's going to be grabbing the booster slightly as BP just looks to clear out some of the traffic before ending the level. Since EnPassant he lost the platform there because the bridge fell down, so he'll have to go for first cycle. So he lost a little bit of time now making it up onto the elevator there, but not the end of the world.
I gotta do better next time.
Now, here's the deal. We were just in Pumpkin Hill, but we're going back to another Knuckle stage. We got a third iteration of heavy RNG coming up as we enter Aquatic Mine. A stage split up into one main mine area with a few extra hallways. And, you know, the best piece combinations can result in a sub-20-second Aquatic Mine, with the worst resulting in close to a minute. BP's going to get actually kind of a janky first piece. Not a lot of runners like this piece, but it's not really bad enough to reset for. It just kind of like, you just kind of like suffer through it and get it. You have to go a lot out of your way and then get back out of it. So a lot of runners don't particularly like this as a first piece. He's gonna, oh, he gets, okay, minecart dumping area is a hideous piece. A absolutely hideous piece to get. And I actually don't, BP doesn't know where to go for this. This actually might give EnPassant a chance to recover from this. BP's going to have to go, he's going to have, this is the only piece that forces you to switch the water level. Okay, he does know where to go. You have to go all the way down and back up. It's a very slow piece to get. BP's getting about the worst RNG you could possibly get. The absolute worst. We'll see how his third piece is. So he grabs another hit monitor. Looks like he's just looking around for one. Oh, he gets a really good piece. Actually, so he got back and forth, which is a free piece. You can see it moving around. Had BP been able to secure that first piece and that free piece, he wouldn't have had to switch to water level. The reason that you switch to water level is if you clip out of bounds and go into that room with minecart dumping area, you can't get back out very easily. Actually, you usually can. I think there is a strat, but I don't think many runners know it. But if you get a third piece and that's your last piece to get, it's not the end of the world, but it would have been hard for BP to check for that piece. So overall, good execution, given some really horrendous RNG. Really, really horrendous. We'll see. EnPassant has the ability to make up some time now, as BP is going to enter Route 101. Essentially, you're going to drift to, it removes one of the speed caps so you can keep your speed longer and helps you move forward. Every 20 rings, you get a boost. EnPassant is going to get under the tilted pillar, another ghost room piece, and that's pretty awful, actually. Going to grab the switch so you can drain all the water. As BP doing a pretty good job so far. As EnPassant going to be grabbing his first piece, see how his second piece is, if it'll be kinder than BP's. And it is. Inside the overturned minecart, pretty solid piece to get. I believe EnPassant knows where this one is. Should be okay there. You can actually check for this as a free piece. But not the end of the world, as he's going to grab his third hint. And it's actually a lot better set than the BP did. Gonna get nothing too significant. And it's going to save a few seconds over BP, but he's got a long way to go to catch up. He's still got about a minute and a half to cover, as BP is well on his way to finishing Route 101 at a pretty quick pace here. So now we'll see, barring some catastrophe at Route 101, BP is going to keep a very strong lead over EnPassant. Because EnPassant looking to go into Route 101 as well. And he'll start drifting after he gets to his first hill. And coming up after Route 101 will be the desert stages, which can cause a lot of issues for runners. Mainly because they're so execution intensive, and so really small things can cause small time losses to even big time losses. So you have to be very careful on how you do on those stages. But I will see if Buffalo's practice will pay off. Can he play well on the desert stages, or will he give room for EnPassant to catch up, as EnPassant looks to be cruising through Route 101 on his own. And we'll see what kind of strats BP decides to do on Hidden Base. There's a few different strats you can do at the start of Hidden Base. There's one where you can just jump over a fence and save a couple seconds over doing the level normally. You could do what's called GC skip, because you could clip through a couple of walls. If you do it right, you'd save 4 seconds. We call it GC skip because on GameCube version, that wall doesn't exist, but in PC and the other versions it does. Or there's another advanced strat that most runners choose not to go for. BP is going to opt for the 2-second time save strat. Don't blame him. The 4-second one's a little bit trickier and can cause a lot of time. Looks like he just wants to keep his run alive, as he's playing very, very well right now. EnPassant nearing the end of Route 101. BP going to be approaching the first checkpoint of this stage very soon. You can just jump over that and kind of go around. It's pretty, just a little bit faster to do it that way rather than breaking the dynamite packs. Although if you're going for A ranks, you would break the dynamite packs for the points. BP getting a relatively solid checkpoint for that, and we'll see how he does through the second part of the level as EnPassant is finishing up, and will be right behind BP in just a few moments. BP grabbing a nice second checkpoint. Hidden Base is one of those stages where you really have to make some precise jumps. Utilizing the boosters mechanic to gain extra height like you're not supposed to. Gonna allow BP to get up there. If he can get his boost, there he goes. Avoid the monkeys. You can get up there like you're not supposed to. You can go over here like you're not supposed to. All utilizing the power of the booster to get extra height when you're not supposed to. BP gonna be finishing this stage up momentarily as we got EnPassant. Gonna have to overcome just under a 2-minute deficit in order to come back against BP. We'll see if BP can keep that lead entering Pyramid Cave. We'll see if EnPassant, what he chooses to do for Hidden Base. Looks like he's actually gonna go for the GC skip. So he's gonna try to clip through these walls. He got a really good amount of height. He can clip into this corner right. Okay, he lost a little bit of height, but he did enough, and he's gonna do a good job to save a couple of seconds over BP. Every second counts, and we'll see if EnPassant catch up. BuffaloPrime gonna enter Pyramid Cave now. The biggest thing in this stage is just having good movement in the hallways, as well as grabbing the upgrade, the bounce bracelet, which is going to change how Sonic is played quite a lot. Going for a little hourglass jump there. Good job to recover from that. Now, if you go into this chow box and you charge a spin dash, like, oh, you get a ton of height. So you can get up there, and that's going to save a few seconds. It's a nice little optimization that runners can do. And now BP gets the bounce bracelet. The bounce bracelet's going to give him a lot of height. Now you're like, whoa, you're not supposed to get that much height, and you'd be correct. What you can do is if you charge a horizontal spin dash, get a lot of speed, and do a bounce into a wall, that horizontal momentum gets converted into vertical momentum, and that gives us a ton of height. Also, this door doesn't exist if you jump into the corner, right? So a good job getting the second door clip. First try by BP. He's having a pretty solid Pyramid Cave so far. Movement down these hallways makes a big difference. You can lose several seconds if you don't do it optimally. BP's going to do a pretty good job as he goes for Snake Skip. The second way we could break the game using the bounce bracelet. If you go off an angled slope like that, you can get a lot of horizontal momentum that over like these different caverns like he just did, and he saved 4 seconds by doing what we call Snake Skip there. We will utilize that skip or that mechanic in a couple other parts of the run. And it looks like BP gonna go for another use of the bounce bracelet, and he's gonna do a great job getting a 143 Pyramid Cave as EnPassant gets a 203 hidden base. Doing a really good job there, trying to keep up with BP, but BP is playing on absolute fire right now. This is some of the best I've seen him play, and he is doing a really, really good job this run so far. We'll see how his Death Chamber goes. Death Chamber can be quite a pain. A broad check for a couple free pieces behind him. Gonna get White Family, a piece in the red-green hallway. The stage is composed of 4 areas: the red room, the green room, the blue room, and then a main area, kind of the center area. And there's hallways connecting the 3 smaller rooms. So this is on the way to the green room. Gonna get the first piece. I would anticipate BP taking a death. You can do what's called death strats. That puts Knuckles back in the red room. There's a lot of second pieces in the red room, so you can get one to spawn. But also, especially if you're going into the green room, it's a lot longer to get out of the green room to other parts of the level. So taking the death is going to let BP get access to the greater part of the stage, because we can do clips in the red room to get out of bounds to go to places and get to the blue room faster. Looks like just maybe a missed button input there, as he's going to get Golden Goddess, piece 2 in the blue room. EnPassant going for a second door skip in Pyramid Cave. Just got to get his angle right, and we'll see BP's third piece is gonna get a red-blue piece. So he's gonna get kind of meh RNG, kind of meh RNG. Looks like he actually gonna go to the wrong room. He needs to go to the red-blue hallway, not the blue secret room. There are a lot of pieces in the blue secret room, so I think he got mixed up with another piece called the only one looking down, which is include Scorpions. BP is going to get shafted by the Campa bot there, but actually gets a pretty good third piece because of the death. So probably not happy with the death, but hey, he's going to get a pretty decent piece to make up for it. So BP finishing up his Death Chamber as EnPassant looks to be finishing up his Pyramid Cave momentarily. Like having a couple struggles, especially with the door clip. But overall, doing a good job given the circumstance that he's in. Gonna use a nice super bounce to get out of that. As BP moves on to Kane and Boom Boo. If you play the game casually, you know that after you hit the hourglass, Boom Boo runs away from you after the first hit. It used to be he was way too fast, but you can actually hold Knuckles' angle to hit him again multiple times. So pretty standard fight for a lot of runners to a lot of runners usually don't miss this. I don't want to commentate Curse too badly though, and we'll see how EnPassant is going to do on his own Death Chamber. As usually this fight's routine, we'll see if BP can take it downtown and destroy this boss. Maybe looks like he's got good positioning so far. EnPassant looking for free pieces. Doesn't look like he got one. Gonna get Angry Guy, not too far away from him, and that's a pretty decent first piece to get.
What a hassle.
EnPassant gonna try to make up some time on BP in Death Chamber as BP is gonna enter Egg Golem. Egg Golem being a boss. He's gonna try a super bounce. He's actually gonna get one. I know BP's worked really hard on those. Something that he sometimes has had issues doing. I know he's told me, and he gets kind of frustrated with them, but a great job getting the first one. The issue is you're trying to do a super bounce up a very, very, very small area. So he's actually just going to opt to go and do it the developer intended way. But a good job getting the first one. Every super bounce you get saves a little bit of time, so even if you just get one, it's not a problem. Looks like EnPassant gonna get a nice second piece, and we'll see what his third piece is. Wandering Ghost, not bad, not bad. Gonna have to go to the green room hallway. We'll probably actually make up a little bit of time on BP, as BP gets kind of screwed by the punch there, but is gonna get a super bounce to recover, and I think he'll probably just opt to wait for the Egg Golem to head bounce one more time. And he's gonna finish up that fight. Nice job, as EnPassant is gonna grab that pesky third piece and move on to onto King Boom Boo himself. Roughly a minute and a half separates these two runners now. BP going to enter Eternal Engine, the first space level of the stage. If you have not seen this game, this is where the game actually gets broken. If you thought the game was broken up to this point, you haven't seen nothing yet. Just like Mission Street, this stage is cycle-based. You're going to try to get to a certain point in the level as quickly as you can in order to make a elevator cycle. We'll see if BP can get the earliest one or if he gets for the otherwise standard second cycle. They're gonna have good movement so far. EnPassant gonna be looking to finish up Boom Boom for himself. See if he can do that fight. As you want to be careful in this one room. There's a Chow key. Don't grab the Chow key. Grabbing the Chow key is slow. You have to go to the Chow garden, and it's not fun. So BP does a good job of avoiding the Chow key. And EnPassant looks like he's going to be on first cycle. Gotta be careful. Don't be too far. Needs one more hit to finish out the fight. And good job. Good job. First cycle Boom Boom. Very nicely done. BP looks like to be on second cycle pace in Eternal Engine at this point. Tails' movement needs to be really, really clean in order to get the first cycle. So even though BP did a really good job, he just did just quite enough to get first cycle. But no, there's no issue getting the second cycle. Only costs a few seconds, like 7 seconds or so, not the end of the world. So a clean second cycle coming out from BP. EnPassant. One thing I noticed that he did is he waited for the boss animation to start. You can, oh, a great clip by BP. He could get out of bounds using that generator and fall into the goal ring. That's the main skip in this stage. Going to save a lot of time over doing the stage normally. But if you're looking to speedrun this game, one little tip: when you enter Egg Golem, you can press A to get Egg Golem to turn around, like to turn the camera and start controlling Sonic sooner. EnPassant waited for the cutscene to play out, so you can save a little bit of time just by pressing A at the start of the fight to get the camera to turn. So he has some visual cues to find where the goal ring is. We're going to see where BP is at. Looks like he's a little... Actually, he's in a really good spot. The goal ring is just at the bottom part of this. He's going to descend carefully next to that red little thing, and he's going to get the goal ring. A great Eternal Engine skip by BP. Really did really well as EnPassant finishing up Egg Golem, and a good job there.
Do better next time.
Now the pressure's on. Not much room left for EnPassant to come back at this point. He'll have to play really well. He'll probably need a little help from the game hurting BP in terms of RNG in order to come back from this one. But BP on a very solid pace. Has about a 2-minute lead on EnPassant at this point. We'll see how his last RNG stage, Meteor Herd, is going to do. 2 huge containers, not a bad first piece. Meteor Herd being comprised of a giant bottom area, some middle area with a bunch of smaller platforms, and then a smaller top area. You're going to get a piece in the middle section, which is preferred. A lot of runners like getting a middle piece because it gives you a lot of access to the top area and bottom area. The ideal combination would be like, well, all pieces on one level, but ideally most runners like middle, top, middle. Unfortunately, BP is going to get Steel Drilling Tower, which is kind of a crappy piece. It could be in 2 locations. Looks like he got the other one. There's actually a way to check for this. If you pause the game for this piece, the radar text, the text that comes with the hit is slightly different and will line up with the pause menu differently. And I think if it's the T and tower is like inside the pause menu, it's on yellow, and if it's outside the pause menu, it's gray. And it looks like BP got digging from Moon. Gonna find that, and bit of a shaky second piece, but overall solid execution. If you can find this piece can be in multiple spots, and really good job on BP finding that, as it looks like EnPassant's gonna be hitting third cycle. And we'll see how he does on the clip. You can push yourself in the generator when the door opens, and he's gonna clip out of bounds, and no problem. Both runners are getting first try clip. Really good job there. And now, as EnPassant gonna try to catch up, finish Eternal Engine. Doesn't want to hurry too much though, because if you die, you're gonna lose more time. As BuffaloPrime gonna enter the Rouge fight. Rouge being just like every other boss, we're going to lock Rouge into place by doing drill dives, manipulating the AI, and you can beat the fight fairly quickly. You're on a bit of a timer on this boss fight, because if you... Oh, Rouge is going to be mean. So after the first hit, you have to walk away from Rouge because Rouge doesn't attack. Looks like BPJ stayed just a little bit too close. Gonna lose a few seconds, but ultimately not the end of the world. So round 2. So yeah, you can drill dive to lock Rouge in place. At the 19.5 second mark, the floor opens up, and then you have to fight. Like it's just kind of a messy situation if you let the floor open up. So runners try to do it very quickly. A good job by BP getting that second try, as EnPassant is going to be looking for his own Meteor Herd RNG. BuffaloPrime going to go for Crazy Gadget Skip for those that haven't seen it. Essentially, BP is going to abuse gravity in order to get to places he's not supposed to go. And because we can get to places we're not supposed to go, we could use gravity we're not supposed to have to hit the goal ring early. Looks like EnPassant going to get a pretty solid first piece on the middle ground. Oh, actually gets sniped by the Chaos there. But actually gets a pretty good Death Strap piece. He's going to get a really close second piece. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Death Strats on Meteor Herd. It's going to work out in his favor this time. We'll see what his third piece is. And going to get a middle piece. So actually, that was about as efficient as it could have been. Getting a Death Strap piece. I've never quite seen that before. As BP is well on his way through Crazy Gadget Skip. Going to have to get onto this little lip by carrying his momentum onto it. Yeah, you sometimes can bounce. You're going to have to go back up and try again because getting caught on the lip can be annoying. Hit the Chaos, get through the door, and then he'll quickly move to the goal ring at this point. We'll get out of bounds here. And if he does his positioning right, going to nail it. Gets first try CGS. A really good job by BP. I don't know if EnPassant does CGS or not. If he doesn't, that's going to be really make it almost impossible for him to come back since CGS saves almost 40 seconds or 30, at least 30 seconds over the level normally. EnPassant going to be entering the boss fight Rouge as BuffaloPrime enters the boss fight Eggman 2. Looks like EnPassant going to try to go for the strats. Looks like just trying to knock Rouge into place. It looks like should be able to finish. Oh, actually let Rouge get away. But gonna punch and gonna finish it up. A little bit of backup there, but did a good job. As BP gonna try to hit. You want to be really careful. He's trying to avoid letting Eggman get too close because if you punch Eggman, it can cause a lot of problems. Just gotta get 4 shots. So yeah, punching. Just kind of activates another round of the laser, and you gotta be careful. But it looks like should be able to get this. So a little shaky, but ultimately gets it. BP finishing up Eggman 2, gonna enter the final stage of the run. EnPassant gonna enter the second to last stage, and we'll see. You never know. Final Rush can be a doozy sometimes. You can skip the entirety of Final Rush by going around kill points, utilizing the angled gravity of the bounce bracelet. We'll see that coming up in about 10-15 seconds from now. EnPassant gonna opt to do the level normally, which is unfortunate. We don't ever get to see the level done normally, so it's kind of nice because doing Crazy Gadget Skipless is a lot of fun. So BP angling his gravity off of the rail after he's got a timer in his head to know when to turn, and then if he turns appropriately, he will skip all the kill plants and be able to fall to the end of the stage into the goal ring. So it looks like he is good, got around the kill plants just fine, and should be well on his way to a successful Final Rush attempt, barring hitting the kill plane at the end, which actually is what cost him his first race. So I know he's been practicing, doesn't want to make that kind of mistake again, and we'll see. EnPassant going to be getting the Flame Ring, which will let him break metal boxes, which you need for this level. So, yep, BP looks like he's got plenty of height, should be able to make the goal ring just fine. EnPassant going to be trying his best, trying his hardest, just to get a strong time, finishing up strongly. And I think unless BP has some really weird issues on Shadow 2, this is his race to win. So we'll see. EnPassant going to break the glass near the end of the level now, as BP ends near the end of his run. almost sub 40, so a really, really strong run from him considering no CE skip. And you could tell that he's feeling good after that PB. He played very, very well this race. EnPassant also playing well, but man, BP's also just been, he's been on fire. EnPassant, you need to do a good super bounce to get up there. Shadow2, time is on the last hit, and we'll see if he gets the first hit. The way that this works is Shadow's going to jump in the air. You can't attack him again, but as Shadow is jumping down, he's open for an attack. So you can attack him there. One more hit, and time. Great job. BP, a 40.09, a very, very respectable time. Congratulations on him on a very, very well done Hero Story run. As EnPassant does a good job finishing up Crazy Gadget and is not going to be too far behind himself as he will be taking on Eggman 2.
Sonic, I did it.
And now EnPassant, gonna be careful. Gonna actually try to catch his Eggman in the explosion of the thing. Oh, he's gonna punch him. You gotta be careful not to punch him. He's gonna need to do an extra hit. Avoid. Oh, he's gonna take a death, unfortunately. Yeah, this boss fight is pesky. Unlike Eggman 1, where you could just shoot forward and win. EnPassant gonna have to make up. He gets the first hit, and then get the second hit. Gotta avoid the laser now. You jump around the laser, hit him in the side with the third hit, and should be able to just get the fourth hit. And a good job. Solid second try to get a sub 20 by EnPassant. And now, he himself will be moving into the final stage of the Hero Story run. I don't know if he does FR skip. If he doesn't, we will get to see the scenic route the stage actually played. And it's kind of sad, too. Just like Crazy Gadget, Final Rush, when done skipless and done well, is really fun to watch. So we'll see what EnPassant does. I don't know what strats he's got going on. So I'm going to jump around there. Looks like he is going to do Final Rush skipless. One of the neat things about doing skipless Final Rush is you get to do a wall run in Final Rush, which is really neat. I don't know if EnPassant can do that. But I see someone in chat asking about a skipless tournament. The hard thing with skipless is what is a skip in SA2? You know, what like is doing the wall run that you can do in Final Rush a skip because you're not doing it right? You know, is it just out of bounds? What is a skip? I mean, a snake skip, it's so hard to determine what to skip because the game is so broken that you could just do so much. So like it's hard to say what is a skip, what's not a skip. So hard to define. EnPassant gonna not do the wall run. So no big deal there. He's actually doing a really good job of getting through this level normally. Gonna have to jump up, guy. He's gonna make it. He's not gonna let no rail stop him. And let's see how he does. Gonna try to do a super bounce up there. It's gonna save a little bit of time, so a good job by him. Get over there, and should be done with this section, and about halfway done with the stage. Maybe even more like 55%. If you do want to see the game played more fully, you could do an A-Ranks tournament, but that would be something. Oh, a 180 emblem tournament. Oh boy. Oop, gonna get stopped by the little rail there. An EnPassant. Gonna hit the checkpoint for safety, get some speed shoes that go zoom zoom. Yeah, Chow Train tournament. Oh, it's unfortunately going to take a death, but it'll have to best of 5 180 emblem race. Now that would be something. But if you only had super bounce, if you could, I mean, you could call it no out of bounds. I could foresee a no out of bounds tournament. But I'm not so sure about a skipless tournament. That's right. That would be fun though. A 180 race on speed gaming. That would be something else. But anyway, EnPassant gonna be nearing the end of Final Rush. Just has to get past one more enemy in a hallway, and he's gonna be finishing up very quickly. Does a good job of spin dashing down to get some extra speed.
Yes!
Yeah, all checkpoints is a decent idea.
No problem.
Could be kind of hard to go out of the way from some of them though, but EnPassant gonna do a great job there. And now EnPassant gonna be finishing up this door too. Gonna go for Shadow 2. See how he does on the hits. Gonna jump into his hitbox, get the first hit. Shadow's not gonna let him. But on the way down, gonna get hit number 2. Can he get hit 3, 4, and 5? The platform's gonna go down. He's gonna have to try and get up. He's gonna lose too much height. And oh, we can save it. So I'll have to do it again, despite being one hit away.
Before this is over, I'll show you the true power of chaos.
That's a tough loss to take, but EnPassant gonna get a first hit and opt to do the fight. Yeah, again, the hit. If you don't get it at the start, it can be kind of hard to come back from. He can do this, but actually he's going to just opt to do safety. And we'll see as BP is going to be hanging out in his little Chow Garden. EnPassant gonna get hit number 4. One hit away. Can he get it? Sub 47. Gets it. And that's it. That's the run. 46-36. Looks like he accidentally hit his reset split over the timer split, but a 46-35 is what I counted as, and a great job by EnPassant. Congratulations to both runners on a fantastic race.
I did it.
They both played very well. I'm really proud of both of them. Congratulations to BuffaloPrime on a well-earned victory, and best of luck to both runners as they continue on in their groups. I do believe in about 10 minutes we will have another race. I can go ahead and check on where we are at with the schedule. And it looks like we're gonna see more BuffaloPrime as he will be taking on Gold coming up in just about 10 minutes or so. But unfortunately, I cannot stick around to commentate, so we're gonna need another person to come in. I'm sure I can find someone. So make sure that you guys get a commentator to help you along in this next race. And there's actually several races going on throughout the day, which will be a lot of fun to see. So I try to secure another commentator. I have to go be an adult. Boo, being an adult. Boo, but that's the way life is sometimes. But yeah, really impressed with BP's performance in this one. EnPassant doing a really good job too. And I know BP's been working hard, and getting the new PB is a really good thing. Feeling on fire. I'm excited to see how he plays throughout the rest of the tournament and see if EnPassant can bounce back. Again, his first race under his belt is great, and I'm really happy for both of these runners. See how they will proceed. See, I see some rummings in the commentator chat, and it looks like I have got a couple of players. I think there might be some They're just trying to figure out a couple of things right now. But it looks like Geek might be able to be commentating in my place. So for now, I am going to head out. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. Once again, my name is Sarah from 1313. I've really enjoyed commentating this race and hanging out with all of you. Thanks for sticking around and supporting, and stick around for what I do believe will be another race in just a few minutes. So all of you have a great rest of your day. Oh, hold on. It looks like we may have a change of schedule, actually. Looks like there might have been, I might not have known, it looks like there might have been Gold might have had to step out and I didn't realize it. So he may have had to step away from doing the race, unfortunately. So I don't know if we're going to have a race. We'll stick around, guys. Otherwise, at 4 p.m., so in a couple of hours, we will have another slew of races. Ethmar versus Sekanor, and then I would highly recommend coming back at 5 p.m. Eastern, because at 5 p.m. Eastern, we are going to have Dej 4 versus 9ball. Dej is the world record holder and the #1 seed in his group. 9ball is the 2nd seed. 9ball is one of those runners that he used to play a couple of years ago, had to take a break in his back, and back in his heyday, he was 3rd place on the leaderboards. So two very established runners will be taking on each other at 5 p.m. Otherwise, Ethmar and Sekanor will be a fantastic warm-up to watch for that, because both of those runners are also really, really strong. But for now, I'm going to be heading off. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you later. Have a good one.